Hello, I just finished reading Common Goal, and I can kind of tell why this is people's least favorite. I found it the most frustrating to read out of all of the books. It is giving Stucky fanfic in a different way, though, I will state, because from the descriptions and this alone, like the cover alone, like it's giving, like, this is like Infinity War Bucky, and like, I wouldn't say pre Serum Steve, but it's definitely like a younger iteration of Steve, because they say that like Kyle looks like a younger version of Scott. So it definitely gives off Stucky vibes in that sense. And it's just, it was very frustrating. It's like unnecessarily slow in terms of a slow burn. Like it just, oh my god. I need grown ass adults to communicate about their feelings. Like the fact that this 41-year-old is like, no, he doesn't like me like that. I'm too old for him. And it's like Kyle has stated several times that he's into older men. Your age has nothing to do with it. Like the fact that they bring it up so much is just annoying. It's like we get it. There's a giant age gap between the two of them. It doesn't need to be reiterated like all the time. And it like this is the one. I don't know. There's just unnecessary conflict in this one, is how I would describe it. Where it's just like, okay, Eric has the conversation with Scott, like, after he sort of tells him that he's retiring, and, like, right before, like, the game that he plays, right before he announces to everybody that he's retiring, that he's like, okay, like, I'll hang out with Kyle, maybe I'll tell him how I really feel, and then he decides not to, essentially. We're like, Kyle is like, hey, come up to my place. Like, we can, have sex, do what we normally do. And Eric's like, no, because I like you. And so we shouldn't do that. And then Kyle's also like, oh my God. It's unnecessary. I found it very frustrating that I was like, we're almost done. And then they sort of like fast forward through everything. I think, because there are bits of this that I liked. And the bits of it that I liked were going over more of Scott and Kip's relationship. Honestly, I wish that this was more of a like a second book on Scott and Kip's relationship. Like I think that like it was sort of adding in bits of their relationship to be like, and your favorite couple's back, but like not as much. I did like the bits with Ilya Rozanov though. I fucking love Ilya. It's just like, cuz I like that. I was like, "Oh, they're getting married, like they're planning a wedding." That would have been a fun book to read. Like how their relationship is progressing and like leading up to a wedding, and like, oh, Scott's upset because his friend is retiring and he just found out that that friend is bi. Like that would have been an interesting story, and this one just wasn't. Like it was kind of boring, and their lack of communication of being two grown ass adults like was incredibly frustrating to me, and I was just like not a fan. Like I kind of liked it at the beginning, and then it just like kept going on of them never talking about their feelings, and I was like, no, I am bored now. I am frustrated. I'm not here for it anymore. It's like I will take I wouldn't say my hatred of heated rivalry, but I would rather take like Ilya and Shane's relationship over this one, because Ilya and Shane, it's similar in the way that it's a slow burn, but those two don't know how they feel. They don't know how they feel. They're like, huh, what is this feeling? Because they're like, they started doing this at 17 and now they're 24-year-olds and they just kind of don't know how they're feeling. Kyle and Eric know how they're feeling. They just don't want to tell each other. And I found that so fucking annoying. It pissed me off so much, and it was so annoying. My other big gripe is that like I don't like the way that this one is written, specifically talking about like Kyle's past, because you essentially get mansplained his trauma at the beginning of the book, being like, let's like sprinkle in being like Kyle doesn't talk to his parents for a reason, and then Maria like brings up Ian or whatever, and then we do like a tell don't show situation of Kyle's experience with Ian and being in that relationship and stuff like that. And that's it. And I was like, it just smacked dabbed in there being like, and this is why like Kyle does certain things. And I'm like, and I knew from reading that, I was like, okay, so he's gonna explain that to Eric at some point. Like he's going to be like, hey, I was in a really bad relationship when I was 18 that was borderline like predatory. Yeah, although he doesn't realize it when he's 18, but that was like borderline predatory. And like, this is why I have trust issues. And I like that would have been a great place. And then they end up doing that anyways. Like, he tells Eric about Ian, and I'm like, you could have put that story in there, like lead it up like a little bit more, like halfway through the book being like, okay, and now here's what Kyle's trauma is. Don't shove his trauma down my throat 40 pages into this book. I'm like, I don't care about your trauma yet. I barely even know you. Like, it was really annoying. I was like, this is such a tell don't show. And they do it for a lot of things too. Like, I feel like she does tend to do that in her books where she does a lot of telling and not showing. But like, it feels like it happened a lot more often in this one than the other ones, where it's just like, and now we're gonna like speed run their relationship, and now they went to Greece, and they are like, and what is it, and like Eric and Scott own the Kingfisher now, and Kyle's the manager of the Kingfisher, and it's like, we kind of knew that was gonna happen, but like that would have been a fun scene to like watch, like read them all have a conversation together about being like, yeah, let's all do this thing. Like, that would have been fun to read about. Maybe the conflict could have been purchasing the Kingfisher and not this bullshit of two grown-ass adults not talking to each other. Like, God, I was so frustrated with this book. I'm really hoping that Role Model is not the same, but like Common Gold was just, oh my god, that shit was annoying. It was just annoying. Like, the only thing that truly made me happy about this book was getting more bits of Scott and Kit, because they're still my favorite couple. Like, I did really enjoy those bits because they're cute, and I'm like, I need more of them. They're my favorite couple, they're adorable, and I would have much preferred another book about them than this. And I did like the hints of like Ilya and Shane and stuff like that, but it's just I don't yeah, I truly, I went into it being like, I don't understand why people hate this one so much, and then I read it and I was like, no, I do understand why people don't like this book. Like, it's just, I don't know, the couple's just not that interesting, the storyline's kind of boring, and it's just like the conflict in and of itself is frustrating and just unnecessary. Like, I feel like you could have had a better thing. Like, Tough Guys made a little bit more sense. Like, Mans has issues. Mans is in therapy, but Mans has issues, and it's just like doesn't take care of himself enough. And this is like the total opposite, where Eric takes care of himself so much. He's very insecure about his age, which, like, fair. Like, I don't know anything about hockey, but I am thinking that 41 years old is considered ancient for a hockey player. But Kyle clearly likes him, and he clearly likes Kyle. And so the fact that it's just like, it's not even like a cool fake dating trope, it's a stupid fake dating trope. And it's not even fake dating, it's like teaching relationship bullshit, which, like, I'm never really a fan of that kind of trope anyways, because you're like, it can only end with you two getting together, but like in a really stupid way. But it's just, oh my god, I was not a fan of this one. It was not for me. I just wanted more Scott and Kip, and I am glad that I got them, but it's just like, no, thank you. So, I don't know. I think those are all my thoughts for Common Goal. I feel like my reviews are just getting shorter and shorter about these books, but oh well. Yeah. I feel like I got through this one fairly quickly. It took me like a week and a half? Nah, like a week. It took me like a week. So, it didn't take me too long to read this one, which was nice. Those are all my thoughts for Common Goal. Let me know if you have read Common Goal and what you thought of it, because I didn't like it. But yeah, like, subscribe. Bye bye.